The story of life on Earth is filled with giants. But long before the age of dinosaurs reached its peak, other titans ruled the world. In the vast ancient oceans of the Triassic period, some 230 million years ago, one of the first true giants appeared. This was the Shonissauro. It was not a dinosaur, but a colossal marine reptile. It belonged to a group called the ichthyosaurs, which means fish lizards. These creatures were masters of the sea. The Shonissauro was among the very largest of them all, a true pioneer of gigantism in the ocean's depths. It was a magnificent animal, holding the title of one of the biggest marine animals of its time. Imagine a creature the size of a modern whale but shaped like a reptile. That was Shonissauro. It was a record breaker in a world that was just beginning to see life on such a grand scale. While small lizard-like animals were testing their limits on land, Shonissauro was already a monarch of the deep. It swam through waters that would one day become deserts, a silent, powerful presence in a blue world. Its existence reminds us that the ocean has always been a place of wonders, home to animals that stretch the very limits of what we believe is possible for a living being. Its story is a crucial chapter in the history of our planet's great marine reptiles. The Triassic period was a time of recovery and experimentation for life on Earth. A great extinction had just passed, and new forms of life were emerging to fill the empty spaces. The ichthyosaurs were one of these new, successful groups. They evolved from land reptiles that returned to the water, and they adapted perfectly to their new home. Shonissauro represents the peak of this early success. It shows how quickly life can produce enormous creatures when the conditions are right. It was a sign of things to come, a preview of the giant sea monsters that would dominate the oceans for millions of years. To see a Shonissauro would have been an awe-inspiring sight. It was not a fast or aggressive predator like those that came later. Instead, it was a gentle giant, moving with a calm power through the sunlit upper layers of the sea or the dark, mysterious depths below. Its sheer size would have been enough to deter any potential threats. It was a peaceful ruler of its domain, part of a dynasty of ichthyosaurs that were the first reptiles to truly conquer the world's oceans. Its fossils tell a story of a time when the seas were ruled not by sharks or whales, but by these incredible fish lizards. The Shonissauro was a marvel of biological engineering, built on a truly immense scale. Its most remarkable feature was its incredible length. Scientists estimate that it could grow to be over 15 meters long, which is longer than a school bus. Despite its great length, its body was surprisingly slender and streamlined. This shape was perfect for moving through the water with minimal effort. It was not a bulky animal, but rather a long and graceful swimmer. Its backbone was flexible, allowing it to propel itself forward with powerful side-to-side movements of its tail, much like a fish or an eel. Its limbs had evolved into 4 large paddle-shaped fins. These were not used for powerful swimming, but were essential for steering and stability in the water. They would have helped this huge animal to navigate with surprising grace, making gentle turns or adjusting its position in the water column. The fins acted like rudders and stabilizers, giving it fine control over its immense body as it moved through the deep. These paddle-like limbs are a classic feature of ichthyosaurs, showing their complete adaptation to a life spent entirely at sea, never to touch land again. One of the most interesting things about the Shonissauro was its head and mouth. For such a large animal, its skull was relatively small, and its snout was long and narrow. Inside this long jaw, there were very few teeth, and in older individuals, the teeth may have been lost altogether. This is a very important clue about its lifestyle. Unlike other marine predators with mouths full of sharp teeth for tearing apart large prey, Shonissauro was different. Its mouth was not designed for crushing hard shells or tackling large, struggling animals. It was a specialist, adapted for a much softer diet. The combination of its massive size, slender body, paddle fins, and limited teeth paints a clear picture. The Shonissauro was a giant built for efficiency, not for battle. Its anatomy suggests a life spent cruising the open ocean, a long-distance swimmer rather than a sprinter. Every part of its body, from the tip of its snout to the end of its tail, was shaped by the pressures of its marine environment. It was a creature perfectly suited to its time and place, an early experiment in how to become a giant of the sea, and a highly successful one at that. The physical features of the Shonissauro give us wonderful clues about how it lived. With its streamlined body and powerful tail, it was an excellent swimmer. It likely spent most of its life in the deep, open oceans, far from any shoreline. It was a creature of the blue expanse. Its large eyes suggest it was well adapted to seeing in the low-light conditions of deeper water. It could probably dive to great depths, exploring parts of the ocean that were dark and mysterious. There, in the quiet of the abyss, it would have searched for its food, moving with a slow and steady rhythm through the water. Its diet was dictated by its unusual teeth. Without strong teeth for crushing or tearing, Shonissauro could not eat animals with hard shells or large bony fish. Instead, it was most likely a suction feeder. It would have used its long snout to target soft-bodied prey. Scientists believe its main food source was ancient squid and other cephalopods, which were abundant in the Triassic seas. It might have opened its mouth wide, creating a sudden rush of water that would suck its soft prey straight in. This is a very energy-efficient way to eat, perfect for such a large animal that needed to consume a lot of food. This giant was not a ferocious hunter. It was more like the large filter-feeding whales of today, a gentle giant moving slowly through the water in search of small, plentiful prey. It would have hunted alone, or perhaps in small groups, gliding silently through the water until it found a large school of squid or a shoal of small, soft-boned fish. Its enormous size meant it needed to eat a great deal, so it would have spent much of its day searching for these dense collections of food. It was a specialist, perfectly adapted to a diet that other predators might have ignored. Life in the open ocean for such a large creature would have been relatively peaceful. Its size alone would have protected it from almost any other predator in the sea. The Shonissauro was an apex animal, not because of its ferocity, but because of its sheer scale. It moved through its world with confidence, a master of its environment. Its behavior reveals a key survival strategy in the history of life, becoming too big to be attacked, while feeding on some of the smallest and most abundant creatures in the food web. It was a quiet, unassuming, yet utterly dominant ruler of the deep. It might be difficult to imagine today, but the dry, desert landscape of modern Nevada was once a completely different world. During the late Triassic period, this entire region was submerged beneath a warm, deep, tropical sea. This ancient body of water, part of the vast Panthalassic Ocean, was teeming with life. Coral reefs flourished in the shallower areas, while the deep offshore waters were home to a fantastic array of marine creatures. This lost ocean was the kingdom of the Shonissauro. The fossils of these giants are found here, now high in the mountains, preserved in rocks that were once the seabed. The Berlin Ichthyosaur State Park in Nevada is a remarkable window into this ancient world. Here, the fossilized remains of dozens of Shonissauro have been discovered, clustered together. It is one of the most important marine fossil sites in the world. These skeletons, some incredibly complete, tell us almost everything we know about this magnificent animal. They are a direct link to the Triassic seas, a graveyard of giants that allows us to picture them swimming in the waters that once covered the land. Nevada, now a desert state, holds the secrets to one of the greatest sea creatures of all time. The Shonissauro holds a very important place in the story of evolution. It was one of the first vertebrates to reach such a colossal size. setting a precedent for the giants that would follow. It ruled the seas long before more famous marine reptiles, like the powerful Mosasaurus or the long-necked Plesiosaurus, ever appeared. The Shonissauro was a pioneer, demonstrating that reptiles could not only return to the ocean, but could become its largest inhabitants. It was a testament to the incredible adaptive power of life, a creature that pushed the boundaries of what was possible for a reptile. Ultimately, the reign of the Shonissauro and many of its fellow ichthyosaurs came to an end. Environmental changes and the rise of new, more competitive marine predators led to their decline. But their legacy is undeniable. They were the first great dynasty of marine reptiles, and Shonissauro was their king. It was a gentle giant that mastered the deep, a peaceful ruler of a lost ocean. Its fossils, resting in the Nevada desert, remind us that our planet has a deep and wonderful history, filled with incredible creatures that rose, ruled, and eventually returned to the rock, waiting to tell their story.